Insider did a deep dive on, I mean, not just in getting people when they're out and about. In police custody, dogs are being used more and more, and in prisons to intimidate and brutalize people. 12 states currently authorize the use of attack-trained dogs in prisons. You can see right here. Oh, great, Connecticut, where I'm from, actively uses dogs, so that's awesome. Some departments argue that the presence of the dogs alone, when they bark and snarl and growl, that stops violence from happening. Others say it's a manpower multiplier that replaces corrections officers in dangerous situations. That's not a multiplier, that's just a replacement.
So they're scabs too, is that what we're saying?
They'll use the exact same argument for robots as soon as the robots are capable of beating people up.
100%.
According to Insider, between 2017 and 2022, patrol dogs employed by state prisons were commanded to attack incarcerated people at least 295 times. The dogs also went rogue and bit corrections officers or other prison staff members at least 13 times. That's either them going rogue or them feeling like they need to fight back against the way that they are being abused and having to perpetuate this cycle of violence. Anyway, Insider has all of the details if you want to know more about this, but this is basically an epidemic, not just cops out in the field using these dogs, but even once people are locked up, they're still in many cases being brutalized, mauled by dogs.
Oh
Francesca, any other
God,
thoughts?
prison. I think just prison attack dogs. I mean, it added to the list of how dehumanizing, degrading our prison system is, and completely overrun, and freest country on earth. 2 million people inside of the prison system, get out of here. And we have this, and this is instead of hiring more guards, having conditions that are more humane, ensuring that people are not subject to violence, that there aren't fights that break out. And so many, hey, give folks air conditioning. Maybe they're upset and having a bad day and are more readily aggressive because it's 100 degrees in their cell. No. Let's victimize animals and make them do this awful work. And then when we're done with those dogs and they're too aggressive for the real world to be useful, we'll just kill them. Tight. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and look, to some extent it was a throwaway comment or whatever, but when they can program a robot to take people down in the field or to discipline people in prison, they are 100% going to do it. The fact that they have to get people to do it, that they have to train them to be willing to do this, or dogs, that is an impediment to the sort of the scale of violence that they want. They are going to have robots that are going to be doing this stuff. We already see how excited they are to deploy them. And look, in San Francisco, there was talk about it in LA. It is going to be so common. And what are you going to hope at some point that people will be recording it, that they won't erase, the logs of these robots? The present is horrifying, but it makes me so worried about where we're going to be at, what we're going to be reporting on in 5-10 years.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.